and whenever we set that date, to line up those statements from those people if they're not available to testify. Because the whole point of arbitration is to make this an expedited procedure that doesn't sit on the court docket for a year and a half.
Right.
It gets resolved fairly promptly. So that's why we permit a lot of documentary evidence in lieu of testimony. So their availability should not be a problem for you. So going back to my original question, can you kind of predict a couple of windows of an hour and a half of time on a morning or an afternoon during a weekday within the next 4 to 6 weeks?
So 6 weeks out would be the 14th then? Wait.
But and I'm saying within that period. I'm not saying that we have to go out 6 weeks before we identify a date. I would like to identify a date with the 6 weeks kind of being the outer limit of how late, how far out we go on the calendar.
I want to say maybe the 22nd of May, maybe to the end of the May.
And are you telling me there's no dates and times you can think of between now and May 22nd that are going to work for you for an hour and a half?
Well, I want to say yes, but I want to make sure all those people has the documentation back to me, and I don't want it to intrude or not have enough time for this, because this is a very irritating case to me.
Well, what I'll say about that is it's always, and I've been a defendant in lawsuits. It's always aggravating or irritating to be on the receiving end of court papers. I get that. I will say that I have arbitrated probably of the about 200 cases I've arbitrated. I would guess at least half of those have involved matters very similar to yours, collection matters relating to charge accounts or credit card accounts. And I certainly don't judge your case on the basis of any of those cases, but I will say in not one of those cases have I received written or oral testimony from anyone, from any of the agencies or entities that you've described. Not the FTC, not the Better Business Bureau, not the Oregon Department of Consumer Affairs. They may in fact make policy and regulations and even law that may govern some aspects, but as far as presenting testimony in individual cases, that has not been my experience. So I'm really reluctant to condition establishing a hearing date on the availability of any of those entities to provide written or oral statements.
Well, I provided the statements to the Consumer Protection Credit Bureau, the police report, the affidavit of fraud, the proof of them cashing checks. I mean, I gave all the information when I gave them their office in Utah when they asked me for the $545 prior to making a payment arrangement, which I found that repulsive, but I did everything. I followed the Debt Collection Act. I notified everything, and then this is still, like I said, a nightmare being a victim.
Well, those may be legal defenses, but again, all we're trying to do today is schedule a hearing.
Okay, I guess I would say probably you can do early May or mid-May.
By early May, are we saying, let's say, between May 1st and May 15th?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Mr. Anderson, do you have dates and times that work during that window?
Could you give me the dates again? There was a pause.
May 1st through May 15th, and I can tell you right now, I am not available on May 3rd or May 5th. I have hearing both of those.
Can we do May 10th, kind of right in the middle of that?
Yeah, that should probably work for me too.
May 10th?
Yeah.
What time?
I can work anytime that day.
I would probably
And-
do it. Yeah, anytime would be fine. I'll try to get the sitter and schedule that.
All right, let's say May 10th at 10 a.m. Now, Mr. Pearsall, do you have any other requests for accommodations? You've indicated some disability, and you don't have to tell me what that is, but if you could describe for me things, you're certainly, we can conduct this entire hearing by telephone. If you want to do that, if that accommodates you a little bit better. But aside from that, are there other things that you would need to accommodate you?
Well,
to be able to use?
like I said, I gave the Johnson mark when I found out about this in Utah when I lost my mortgage money. When they asked for the 545 or 540, whatever it was, over $500 for them to talk to me in the, I think it's Sandy's office. But anyway, I gave them I've been giving proof to all this, and this is the second time this matters came before Benton County Court, and the last time this was dropped.
Okay, well, I'm just, I'm writing on a clean slate here. And
Right.
so basically what I'm going to do is set this in for hearing. But as I said, if there, is it your, and you don't have to decide today either, but if you feel right now this is something you want a conference call set up so everybody participates by telephone, just as we're doing today.
Yeah, and just if there's anything to email, because the correspondence I've gotten, like I indicated on the email, I barely even got that letter because it wasn't marked with the right. The letter was marked right, or the letter inside that was marked right with the right information, but the envelope was not marked right. And so, if it wasn't for the post office giving me the new guy, I would not have known about this, and they would have filed a judgment. So I just would like accurate information to be sent to me.
Okay, well, I'm gonna set it for and I will send you information regarding the telephone conference call. I'm gonna set this for 10 o'clock a.m. on May 10th, and I will send out notices of hearing to both of you. Do you want to confirm your addresses for me? First, the plaintiff.
Yes, let me. That's 901 North Brewster Street. There's
Spell that for me, please.
well, actually, hold on. Let me pull up the best one. There's a P.O. box. Sorry, I'm working at home, and it is much slower on this.
And it feels like a Monday to me, so I feel you.
The best address to send things for me is at P.O. Box 7811. That's in Sandy, Utah, Sandy. That's 84091.
And is that to your firm name rather than you personally?
Yes, firm name is fine. Johnson Mark.
Okay. All right. Mr. Pearsall, your address?
It's 620 Northwest 21st Street, Apartment 2, Corvallis, Oregon 97330.
Okay. I will send out notices of hearing. Those will also include the pre-hearing statement of proof date. But I can just tell you that's going to be April 26th. By close of business April 26th, I need from each of you your pre-hearing statements, which are under the arbitration rules. They're a list of the witnesses this is a Benton County matter, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, so the total fee is $550, so your share of that is whatever half of that is, $275, I guess.
all right, I will have that forwarded immediately.
And I'm guessing, if this arbitration probably doesn't take more than a couple hours, I'll be refunding some of that because it's the hourly rate for arbitrators is lower than the typical attorney hourly rate. We typically don't use the entire arbitration fee. And if I haven't earned it, I don't keep it. That said, if the two of you, given that you've apparently had some conversations before about some sort of resolution of this matter, I encourage you to do that. I do not mediate these matters in most cases, but if there is something, if you get to a point where you think you're close to an agreement and you just want to touch base with me to see if I have anything to add that might help you get there, I'm more than happy to do that. And as the other thing I'll say is, as I've reiterated in some of my emails, very important that if you call me, you conference in the other party before you do that. And very important, if you send me anything by email, make sure you copy the other party on that email. And I think we've been doing that in our correspondence in the last couple of days, so keep that up. And then if you send me anything in writing, for example, your pre-hearing statement of proof has to be served on the other party at the same time. So if you mail that out to me, make sure you mail it to the other party. If you email it to me, make sure you email the other party.
Okay.
So thank you both this morning. Either of you have any questions before I let you go?
No questions.
No questions.
All right. Mr. Anderson, thank you for setting up the conference call. This worked pretty well, and I really appreciate both of you cooperating to get us on the calendar.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have
Bye-bye.
a good rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.